Hello, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. Welcome to another news day on Tuesday. Today is April 27th, 2021, and let's jump right into it. We've got Oracle Maiden Lunafreya coming at you. The news actually came out yesterday, but I wanted to wait and to collect all the news, make sure we had everything that was coming this next week before we got that video out. Alright, so let's get right in. We've got Lunafreya, and then Neovision Awakenings for Ignis, Gladiolus, and Prompto. So the boys are getting their Awakenings, and then Lunafreya is coming in with an entirely new unit at Neovision Rarity. Okay? She gets these as the items. These are pretty good. I like Rydia's Headband and the Originator of the Final Summoning. Soul's Coat and Ash's Ring, okay, whatever, but like these are two really good summoner items. Pretty much staples on units like her or Terra or Ferris, or Untamed Wolf Adele, or yeah, the list goes on. Anyway, so we've got the panel summon rewards, pretty standard, and then the tier 2 panel summon rewards got the 5,000 lapis in the middle there. That's, I don't know if that's worth going all the way to board 2 for 5,000 for a free pull, but all right. We've got in her regular form, and then we see her Brave Shift form. She's still a DPS, but, you know, we see her back, I guess. Okay. Alright, Sprite. The traditional awards for the X Awakening, you know, you get the card, you get the Super Trust Mastery, and then you get the card. Brave Shift duration is only for 2 turns, and then she has a 3-turn cooldown, but it is available at turn 1. Alright, her STMR is Trident of the Oracle, Final Fantasy 15. 178 magic, 120 spirit, and boost Evo damage by 50%. We'll remember this item because we'll talk about this item more later in this video. Her Trust Mastery is for the King, boost magic by 40%, and parameters when setting an Esper by 50%. And then she's got her Vision card, which we will go into more later. Then her featured standard ability is boost magic and enable specific abilities for caster. And then she has Light of Virtue. Light of Virtue is a deal light magic damage and reduce light resistance for all enemies. The first ability is enable skill for 5 turns to caster, which is a quad cast. And Light of Virtue is a 120% imperil with bolting strike chaining. Basically what she does in her regular form is she is a bolting strike or chaos wave awakened chainer, and then she can summon espers, she can cast esper fields, and she does light magic damage and increases light magic or physical damage for all allies. In her Brave Shift form, she has Judgment of the Fulgarian and Gentiana's Aid. Judgment of the Fulgarian is lightning evoke damage with Chaos Wave Awakened Chaining. So it's that AoE. Oh no, I'm sorry, not AoE. It's a single target Evo damage skill, which uses the Evo gauge to cast itself. So you can't really like have too many of these. You know, like you can't have like a whole team of Lunafreyas and have them all using this ability. You don't have that much Evo gauge, you only have 10 orbs, and this costs 1 orb for each cast of this. And then Gentiana's Aid is fill LB gauge and boost LB damage for caster. So that increases the LB gauge by 50 to the caster, and increases the LB damage by a 250% buff. And then her Limit Burst is water evoke damage, and enables field effects. So what she is she's basically on the same like DPS level as Terra. She's just slightly different. The difference between her is her STMR. Her STMR can be upgraded, which we will talk about later, which really puts her over the top over Terra for damage. A lot of people have been waiting for her, but really, if gear is irrelevant, essentially, she's the same as Terra. But the fact that she is using this as her STMR, and this can be upgraded, really puts her over the top of Terra because of the Trident of the Oracle. There's a few other little things that make her slightly better, but it's really her STMR. And then we have Ignis. Ignis gets updated to Neovision. I really love his Brave Shift sprite. It looks really cool. He becomes a DPS. he gets more additional abilities. I've always liked Ignis's footnotes as his Trust Mastery. His featured standard abilities are boost defense and spirit and reduce physical and magical damage dealt by fairies and reapers to all allies, and then he can boost all parameters for all allies with reinforcement. He becomes a little bit better of a support, although not fantastic still, because he has those unlocks, and he does have a new triple cast, which I do believe allows him to at least use multicast at the beginning, and he doesn't have to wait for the unlocks, but it is what it is. Then his featured Brave Shift, he becomes a DPS with True Overboost. Boost attack and fire, lightning damage, and LB abilities for caster, and then his LB does fire, ice, and lightning damage. I believe it does, at least. And then Sitmap? It's not Sitemap, it's Sitmap? Okay. Can soon own LB gauge to boost damage of certain abilities for allies. So let me make sure I'm getting those abilities right real quick. Okay, so Sitmap. I really think that should be Sitemap, but yeah, we'll get back to that. Gladiolus. Gladiolus becomes a better tank. He becomes a tank that before he could do a lot of single target covering, but now he can do AoE covering with his skills, which is a heavy boost to all of his skills. Alright. So Ignis on his Brave Shift, he gets the LB of his LB only increases fire, ice, and lightning physical damage, but it doesn't do any fire, ice, lightning, or physical damage. So I apologize for that one. I had to make sure that my information was correct before we moved on. And his DPS abilities are Bolting Strike Chaining with lightning, ice, or fire imperil. They have pretty high mods if you use the increased mod cap abilities that he also has that go with it. Like Sitmap increases the modifier 10 times for 6 turns to all allies. All physical attacks except LB. All physical attacks except LB. For all allies? Like every ability everywhere? I don't know if that's possible. We'll check that one. Okay, so then Gladiolus. Gladiolus has his DPS with physical cover, and then he is just a straight DPS in his Brave Shift form. He has infinite Brave Shift duration. His STMR and TMR stay the same. His featured abilities are boost damage of certain abilities and boost equipment defense by 200% when a single weapon is equipped in one or both hands. And then Razor Shield, which is a AoE cover. He finally gets that AoE cover. And then his featured Brave Shift abilities are Earth Shatter, which is a nice little damaging move. And then True and Antagonize, which is temporarily add chance of counterattacking when an ally receives a physical attack. So any ally receives a physical attack, a counter activates and does a little bit of damage. Okay? Then we have Prompto. Prompto is really interesting because in his Brave Shift form, he gets a huge skill. It's a 450x mod. Which is insane and completely unheard of, but it is a Magnus ability, so it can only be used once. Yes, it is 450x mod with a 87% defense break. So his STMR and TMR get upgraded, so I do look forward to those. His Executioner is now a 161 attack, Spirit 66, that gives dual wield gun. And has Machine Killer, which is boost physical damage against machine monsters. And then his Trust Mastery, which is Mood Maker, is boost HP by 30% and LB gauge fill rate by 200%. Just a passive. It doesn't like give a. It's just like LB gauge fill rate by 200%. It doesn't give a buff that boosts LB gauge fill rate. It just boosts LB gauge fill rate. So before it only lasted 3 turns because it was a buff that went away, and now it's just standard. His feature to standard abilities are damage and reduce attack, defense, magic, and spirit of lightning resistance to one enemy. That's just a 75% break and 120% lightning and peril with bolting strike chaining. Really, in his regular form, he doesn't get that many buffs. He gets a little bit of machine killer, and he gets a little bit of equipment attack and LB damage increase. But his LB isn't anything to write home about. And like, his regular form doesn't get that many crazy buffs. But his Brave Shift form is really like just, it's, I'm not sure how these translate. So it would be Sagiata Rifle. Damage and reduce defense for one enemy. So this would be the ability right here, Sagiata Rifle. That's going to be a 450x mod skill, but it can only be used one time. So I'm excited to see if that triggers off of dual wield. We will see. And then Alia Bazooka, damage all enemies. This is a 300x mod. And Audix Blade is damage one enemy and boost damage of certain abilities for caster. He does have break damage for guns. So he has increased break damage for break gauges that allow for guns. Really, his Brave Shift form seems to be one of the most usable units out of this. I mean, you've got a nice little physical cover tank in Gladi, and I'm a little sad with Ignis, but he's got a cool sprite. Okay, so really, I like the Prompto, and Gladi's pretty good. Alright, so we've got Sacrifices, which is the news that came out today. Sacrifices is the Final Fantasy XV raid event. Look at this chunky boy. Okay, so it's a raid event. You know, you get 5 orbs. They refresh every hour. As you do the raid event, you can get items and different rewards. We've got Sile Blossom, Final Fantasy XV. HP MP 48, attack defense magic 29. Activate Memory of Days Past, which is boost magic by 50%. Rapidius SMG, Final Fantasy XV, which is a gun. 132 attack, 30 defense, and normal attacks hit 2 times. That's exciting, especially for moving forward towards things like arena changes. Or not necessarily arena changes, but how units interact in arena. Like the basic attacks doing crazy things like AoE casting death that are coming down the line from us from JP. Okay, so Genji Blade, Final Fantasy XV, attack 115, defense 33, activate Breaker of the Blade Master, boost equipment attack and defense by 25% when armed with 2 one-handed weapons. That's kind of nice. It's a great sword. Spell Daggers, which is a dagger, 128 attack and 29 defense. Activate Foreseer of the Future, boost fire, ice, and lightning damage of abilities and magic at the beginning of battle or after revived. So this is nice to get a dagger that can give this buff. Before we only had like Brumal Cores and things like that, but now we have a seemingly free dagger that can do it. Covenant of the Gods, boost evocation damage and parameters when setting an Esper by 20%. Nice little free item there, very helpful for new players who are trying to gear their evokers. So, you know, you do the raid event, you get the items, you've got the 60% bonuses for all the Neo Vision Final Fantasy 15 kids, etc., etc. Get bonuses according to their EX levels. Then we've got the daily bonus challenge, Reaper of Crown City. You get EX coins, and you get Lapis, Super Trust Moogle, exchange tickets, Neovision EX tickets. You get all kinds of little goodies by doing the daily bonus challenge. Alright, and then we've got a new Chronicle Battle. The Final Fantasy XV Chronicle Battle. Get Brave Insignias, Final Fantasy XV, and equipment and recipes. Okay, so you can take in Lunafreya, Noctis, and all the rest of the Final Fantasy XV kids. They receive a 300% parameter boost to all parameters for all these units. And here it is. Scepter of the Pious. Scepter of the Pious, and then Hero Shield. Scepter of the Pious is 12 attack, 202 magic, 90 spirit, and activate Aid of Kings of Yore for Crown Prince Noctis, Cobalt Blade Noctis, Arden, Regus, Lunafreya, Oracle Maiden Lunafreya only, and King's Worship of the Hexathon. The first one is boost magic by 750, LB damage by 50%, and evocation damage by 50%. That's amazing. And then boost parameters when setting an Esper by 50%. That's crazy. Absolutely amazing. That's Scepter of the Pious. This is the item to farm for. I apologize earlier. I thought this was the I thought this was her STMR, similar to like King Behemi, and you upgrade the STMR, but it is not. It is a separate item, so I apologize for that. Scepter of the Pious. So yeah. Okay. Then we have. Wow, that's really good. And then Hero Shield. Hero Shield is, and so this is what really kind of like sets Oracle Lunafreya over the top over any other units, like Terra, for instance. So if you really want to use Oracle Lunafreya and her to be, you know, OP, then you'd be using this item. Hero Shield, Final Fantasy 15. HP 100, Defense of 135, Spirit 62, and HP 20%. Activate Last Shield of Lucii, boost attack by 40%. It's a pretty okay shield. It's not the greatest, but, you know, it's alright. And those are the Chronicle Battles, and then we've got the Challenge of the Braves coming back for these. I'll just scroll through them all. Alright. And then, you know, you can access the dungeon. We've got the Oracle Lunafreya's Vision card, which is flat 100 magic, boost magic by 60%, and boost parameters of evoked Espers by 30%. Requirement is you gotta have a female unit. But it is kind of a cool card there. I don't know. Noctis looks extremely happy and very meme-worthy in that picture, though. The story continues, so we've got a new story update coming at you. Season 3 is coming to a close. It's almost done. Final Fantasy 15 guaranteed ticket summon, so this is the $12 summon. For anybody that's pulling on that, good luck for your Lunafreya. And then... oh, no, this is the $12 summon. This is Final Fantasy 15 guaranteed ticket summon. Players can use a Final Fantasy ticket summon by purchasing the bundle. So this is a special ticket that you can use to get Final Fantasy 15 units, but you can only get these tickets from buying a bundle. Okay. And then this is the $12 banner. Okay. They're making bank off these $12 banners, I imagine. Okay. So then the exchange shop for Lunafreya, you've got Oracle Maiden Lunafreya fragments, and then you've got the original units, the boys. Originator File Summoning, really good. Radius Headband, really good. Ash Robe, okay. Ashes Ring, okay. And then the traditionals. Again, Originator File Summoning and Radius Headband. If you do not have them, would definitely be worth going for the Oracle Lunafreya. And you'll also be able to turn in 8 tickets for Lunafreya. She is an 8-ticket pity. And then we have the Fated Friends login bonus. Fated Friends login bonus is just the login bonus for Lunafreya and the boys. So you'll be able to get her fragments and their fragments as well. And it's gonna be May login bonus, where you can just get some Lapis and some summon tickets and everything. I really have a feeling that Shally's to blame on calling that it's gonna be May login bonus. And then we have the maintenance. So now I just want to go over that again, because I did say that at the beginning of the video, and I do apologize for that, with Oracle Lunafreya's STMR being Trident of the Oracle, and the item that is really good for her that comes out of the Chronicle Battle being Scepter of the Pious. So Trident of the Oracle and Scepter of the Pious, not the same thing. Definitely two different items. One's a rod, one's a staff, one's OPOP, and the other one's her STMR. So I do apologize for that at the beginning of the video. Alright, so thanks everybody for watching. Good luck if you're summoning for Oracle Maiden Lunafreya. Much love. Peace.